The Kansas City Chiefs have built a reputation for consistency, excellence, and control under pressure. Yet recent events have shaken the football world in ways few anticipated. A surprise announcement from within the organization has sent ripples through the NFL, leaving both fans and analysts searching for answers. The news centers around a major internal change, one that could alter the team's strategy and potentially redefine its upcoming season. Reports began surfacing early this morning, hinting at unexpected roster adjustments and behind-the-scenes negotiations that had been kept tightly under wraps. The Chiefs, known for precision and planning, appear to have taken a bold and sudden step. Speculation ranges from contract disputes to leadership shifts, but the truth is even more complex. This moment challenges assumptions about how stable the reigning champions truly are. The shockwaves extend beyond Kansas City, influencing how the league views its most dominant dynasty. For a franchise built on preparation, this turn of events is both surprising and deeply revealing. To understand the magnitude of the surprise, one must look back several weeks. Insiders have reported growing discussions within the Chiefs' management about future adjustments, subtle at first, but increasingly serious. The organization, driven by long-term vision, had been evaluating performance, chemistry, and leadership behind closed doors. A combination of off-field concerns and internal evaluations appears to have accelerated a decision no one anticipated. Players and staff were reportedly informed only hours before the public announcement, heightening the sense of disbelief. While rumors circulated about discontent and strategic differences, few believed they would culminate in such a decisive action. The move signifies more than a roster shift. It marks a philosophical change in how Kansas City approaches the next phase of its dynasty. This wasn't a reactionary choice. It was calculated, deliberate, and potentially transformative. It reflects a team unwilling to rest on its past success, even if it means confronting uncomfortable realities. The unexpected move, though shocking, may ultimately define the Chiefs' identity moving forward. In moments of sudden change, leadership becomes the defining force of a team's survival. Head coach Andy Reid and quarterback Patrick Mahomes now face the challenge of guiding the Chiefs through turbulent waters while preserving trust and stability. Sources within the organization describe a calm but urgent atmosphere, focused, deliberate, and aware of the stakes. Reid's experience has prepared him for crises, yet this one strikes deeper than strategy. It tests the emotional balance of a roster accustomed to winning. Mahomes, as the face of the franchise, must now carry both performance and morale. Every public word, every quiet meeting becomes a test of unity. Leadership in such moments isn't about control, it's about clarity and resilience. The Chiefs' internal communication has tightened, emphasizing accountability and focus. Veteran players have stepped into mentoring roles, reminding younger teammates that adversity often forges stronger teams. How the Chiefs' leaders navigate this chapter will determine whether the surprise becomes a setback or a catalyst for renewed dominance. At the heart of the situation stands a player whose name has defined countless Kansas City victories. Once viewed as untouchable, he now finds himself in a storm of speculation and uncertainty. Reports suggest that tensions between him and the organization had been quietly escalating, rooted in creative differences and contract complexities. The players' camp maintains that his commitment never wavered, while internal sources hint at growing frustration regarding expectations and role adjustments. His recent performance, though strong, had reportedly become overshadowed by off-field conversations. The decision involving his future caught even teammates off guard, signaling that internal dynamics had reached a breaking point. The Chiefs' management, consistent in its professionalism, handled the matter discreetly yet decisively. For fans, the revelation was jarring, a reminder that even icons face accountability within a championship framework. Whether this marks the end of his Kansas City journey or the beginning of a new chapter remains uncertain, but the impact of his situation cannot be overstated. Inside the Chiefs' locker room, the atmosphere has shifted from disbelief to determination. Players expressed surprise at the news, but quickly rallied around their leadership. Insiders describe a unified message: control what can be controlled and trust the process. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have reportedly taken the lead in keeping spirits high, emphasizing professionalism and focus. Younger players are viewing this as a defining moment, understanding that resilience separates contenders from champions. While emotions remain high, the prevailing sentiment is one of respect for the organization's decision, even among those closest to the player involved. The locker room recognizes that difficult choices often accompany sustained success. Every player, regardless of tenure, now feels the weight of accountability. Practices have intensified, reflecting a renewed sense of urgency and pride. Instead of division, the Chiefs appear to have channeled uncertainty into motivation. The message is clear. Adversity is temporary, but discipline defines legacy. Kansas City's response speaks volumes about its championship DNA. The news ignited a wave of emotional reactions across the fan base. Supporters who have followed the Chiefs through triumphs and heartbreaks were left stunned by the sudden development. Social media platforms filled with speculation, theories, and passionate defense of the player in question. Analysts debated the logic behind the team's timing, questioning whether this decision could disrupt momentum. Yet amid the case, one truth stood out. Kansas City fans remained fiercely loyal. While confusion lingered, most agreed that the franchise had earned trust through years of consistent leadership and success. The media, however, amplified every detail, creating a spectacle that extended beyond sports. Headlines framed the story as a clash between loyalty and leadership, emotion and discipline. Despite the external noise, the organization remained silent, choosing focus over explanation. The contrast between media intensity and team composure highlighted Kansas City's maturity. This wasn't just a story about football, it was a reflection of professionalism under pressure. The sudden roster adjustment inevitably alters Kansas City's tactical outlook. Coaches must now reconfigure offensive schemes, adapt rotations, and redistribute leadership responsibilities. Analysts predict potential changes in both tempo and formation, as the team seeks balance without compromising explosiveness. While challenges exist, the Chiefs' depth remains their greatest asset. New opportunities emerge for players who have long awaited their moment to shine. For the coaching staff, this is a test of innovation, a chance to reinforce the system's adaptability. Andy Reid's playbook has always thrived on flexibility, and this moment calls for exactly that. The organization's confidence suggests that this move, while surprising, aligns with a broader strategy aimed at longevity rather than short-term comfort. Opponents may interpret the change as vulnerability, but those familiar with Kansas City's discipline know better. This is a team built not around individuae, but around execution and trust. Every adjustment now becomes part of a larger mission, to strengthen, evolve, and sustain championship form. Behind closed doors, the Chiefs' decision-making process reflects precision and unity. General Manager Brett Veach, known for balancing data with instinct, reportedly led extensive evaluations before finalizing the move. His approach, rooted in long-term planning, considered both performance metrics and cultural alignment. Financial implications were also significant as the Chiefs prepare for future cap management in a league where sustainability defines success. The choice was not impulsive. It was strategic, reflecting the franchise's commitment to maintaining structural integrity. Meetings among executives and coaching staff emphasized one principle: no player, regardless of talent, stands above the collective. The Chiefs' philosophy mirrors the organization's that sustain greatness by adapting before decline begins. While emotions surrounded the decision, the process itself was deliberate and thorough. Veach and Reid's partnership, built on mutual trust, once again guided the team through a defining crossroads. Their clarity of purpose reinforces why Kansas City remains the NFL's gold standard for leadership, even amid the most unpredictable circumstances. Beneath the professionalism lies a deeply human story. The player's departure, or possible demotion, represents more than a business transaction. It symbolizes the emotional weight carried by athletes and coaches alike. Bonds built through years of competition cannot dissolve without impact. Teammates describe the atmosphere as reflective, filled with respect rather than resentment. The player, despite his frustration, reportedly expressed appreciation for the organization's honesty. Andy Reid's steady demeanor helped temper emotions, reminding everyone that growth often demands difficult choices. Fans, though divided, recognized the dignity with which both sides handled the situation. The episode underscores how success in sports requires both heart and humility. Every great team must face moments that test its values. This event, unexpected and painful, may ultimately deepen the Chiefs' unity. Beyond statistics and contracts, this is a story of pride, evolution, and emotional resilience, the qualities that have kept Kansas City at the top of professional football. As the dust begins to settle, the Kansas City Chiefs stand at another defining moment in their dynasty. What began as a shock has transformed into a statement of intent. The organization's willingness to make bold, uncomfortable decisions reflects the mindset that sustains champions. Adversity, though disruptive, often reveals strength. The Chiefs have once again demonstrated that their foundation rests not on personalities, but on principles. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to reaffirm commitment, refine culture, and strengthen identity. The player's departure, though significant, will not overshadow the larger narrative. A franchise that evolves, adapts, and endures. Kansas City's future remains as bright as ever, guided by experience, unity, and purpose. Their story reminds the NFL that greatness is never static. It demands constant growth. What no one could have imagined has become another chapter in the legacy of a team defined by courage, accountability, and an unshakable pursuit of excellence.